Now to give it a quick dust over. Hopefully that will be the caliper painted then, and we can get on with the rebuild tomorrow. Let's see how that dries out, shall we? Well, looks like I've messed it up again, because as I turn it over, I hope you can see that, if it will focus, it doesn't seem to want to, but I'm afraid it has caught in the material again. There we go, you can see it's caused that speckle effects. Little pieces of red paint covered cloth have embedded themselves into the black paint because that black paint wasn't dry, so I'm going to have to do that again. Having now given it 24 hours to dry, it certainly doesn't feel tacky anymore. It's not looking too bad. Take the plugs out. Seems to thread forever. Off the edge of that, I hope it's not because the paint's wet, I hope it's just because of the edge of this sticky. Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad. I was a bit worried that the edges might look a bit rough, because I hadn't really trimmed it very well. But that's turned out alright, that has. That's not bad looking at all. Yeah, kind of like that. Okay, we've got these two here to get off somehow. Oh, here we go. Try and get it up without causing any hassle. Hey, I like it. I'm liking it. Take this off as well. Interesting to see if any spray did manage to get through into the cylinder. If it has, I'll need to clean it off. But no, it's it looks all right in there. I don't see any spray in there at all. That's good. That is good. Okay, we now have the caliper repainted. I'll get the pistons and seals in. For that, I'm going to need a little bit of brake fluid just to help it slide in. Okay, we've got some cheap hydraulic fluid, that'll do. Right, pistons. Piston and seal. If I can get this seal into place. Perfect. That seems to be seated okay. Boot. Make sure that's seated in properly. better take that out. Otherwise I'm fighting against the pressure of the air. Try and get it to go in. There we go. In. You've got to be really careful because the brake fluid I've just been handling will attack this paint. You can already see that there's moisture on there from my hands. Get that to seat properly. That seems to work ideally. Make sure she's in fully. Use a cloth just to wipe that off. So I don't want it attacking the paintwork that I've spent ages putting on. That's that half done. This half is going to be a bit more difficult because it's going to hard to get the boot into that edge there because of all this architecture around about it. Oh, piston number 2. Okay, in with the seal first. There we go. These seals always seem a little bit large for the gap, but they do fit. Just make sure that's seated in all the way round. It looks like it's centered nicely. Excellent. Now the next thing I need is the boot. I don't know if there's a proper technique for doing this. The technique I learnt through experience is put the seal in first, then the boot onto the piston, then the piston into the cylinder, and once that's in and fully home, then put the boot onto the lip, and that is really the hardest part to do. Oh, that slipped straight in there. Straight in there without a problem. Now, as I say, the hard thing is getting this boot on there. Wow! Wow! Without too much of a struggle, it's done! Now we can put these bleed nipples back in. There we go. Let's caliper back together. Now you've got the 2 pins with their holes in. They come with a double clip, which I think is going to be too short for this, or you've got 2 small R clips, which I think we'll be using on this occasion. Alright, put a little bit of grease around one end. This is the end that's going into the blind hole, and we don't want it rusting into that blind hole. There we go. There we go. It's one in. I just want to put a little light covering on this. I don't really want to absolutely bury it in it. There we go. There we go. Into place. And that, my friends, is one caliper refurbished. Ready to use.